welcome to another part of my bookshelf tour. Okay, starting with this top shelf. On this side up until this point is basically Alison Noel novels. Starting with the Immortal series, which consists of Evermore, Blue Moon, Shadowland, Dark Flame, Night Star, and Everlasting. The next three books are a part of the spin-off series, the Riley Bloom series. The first one is Radiance. The second one is Shimmer. Third one is Dreamland, and I believe there's at least one more that I don't have. Now the rest of the shelf, starting here all the way down, is L.J. Smith books, except for the books that are on top there. Starting with the Vampire Diaries books, which I have to say the TV show has gone to a completely different direction from the books, but I really like it anyway. So anyway, the first book that I have, it's a compilation of the first two books in the series, and they're called The Awakening and The Struggle. The next volume consists of The Fury and Darker Union. The next one is The Return, Nightfall, followed by The Return, Shadow Souls. The next one is The Hunters, Phantom, and there are more books after this one, but I don't have them. I do, however, have some of Stefan's diaries. These are made from the TV show. So I have Volume 4, The Ripper, and Volume 5, The Asylum. Next up we have The Secret Circle, which is another TV show that they did, or actually, they did the TV show off of these books. I don't know how close it is, because I haven't actually read The Secret Circle, but I have them. I've had them for a while. But the first one consists of The Initiation and The Captive Part 1. And the second one that I have is The Captive Part 2 and The Power. I believe there's more books in this series, but I don't have them yet because I haven't read these. Next up we have the Night World series, which consists of 9 books so far. There's supposed to be a 10th one, a conclusion, which has been coming out for 10 years and still is not out. But anyway, I have them in 3 bound up books. Volume 1 includes Secret Vampire, Daughters of Darkness, and Spellbinder. Volume 2 consists of Dark Angel, The Chosen, and Soulmate. And Volume 3 consists of Huntress, Black Dawn, and Witchlight. I believe the 10th book in the series is called Strange Fate, but like I said, it's been coming out for over 10 years now, so who knows what's up with that. Next up, I have the Forbidden Game bind up, which consists of The Hunter, The Chase, and The Kill. After that, I have the Dark Visions bind-up, which consists of The Strange Power, The Possessed, and The Passion. And then I have The Night of the Solstice, which is the first book in the Heart of Valor series. I think that's what it's called. And again, on the top, well, this is not a book, this is a box that I thought looks really cool, so I got it. And currently, it has a list of books that I own. After Daybreak by J.A. London, Drink Deep by Chloe Neal, which is part of the Chicagoland Vampire series, and Whispers at Moonrise by C.C. Hunter, which is part of the Shadowfall series. Next up we have Warm Bodies by Isaac Marion, and I actually picked this book up after I watched the movie. And the next 3 books are from the Private series by Kate Bryant, and again, I don't have all of them. I have just bits and pieces from the series. The first one that I have is Private, which actually happens to be the first book in the series. I also have Last Christmas, which is a prequel, I guess. And the next one is The Book of Spells, which is another prequel. How many prequels can a series have? So that was it for that shelf. Let's move on to this lovely shelf, which consists of the Twilight Saga series over here in this corner, and House of Night series over there on that corner. This is also the home of my keys, and also my sunglasses. Now moving on to the books, the first one is, of course, Twilight. The second one is New Moon. The third one is Eclipse. And the last one is Breaking Dawn. I also have The Short Second Life of Bree Tanner, which is between Eclipse, or actually at the end of Eclipse. I have the Twilight graphic novel volume 1. There is more volumes out, but I don't have them, and I honestly don't know if I'll ever get them. And I also have the official illustrated guide, but I lost the dust jacket, so now it's just... And of course, no collection is complete without a parody. So I have the Nightlight by the Harvard Lampoon. This was yeah, I'm just speechless. And the next half is basically House of Night books by PC Cast and Christine Cast. And they are marked, betrayed, chosen, untamed, hunted, tempted, burned, awakened, destined. And here I'm missing one, which is called Hidden. But the next one I have is Revealed, which just came out. So that makes 11 books. I think there's supposed to be 12 in the series. And this is a series that I have a love-hate relationship with. It started off good, but then, I don't know, I've stopped reading it at one point, and I'm just waiting for all the books to come out so I can read them all together, and yeah. I also have some companion books that go with the House of Night series. So I have the Fledgling Handbook 101. Next in the House of Night, which is really kind of the mythology behind the series kind of thing. And House of Night Legacy, which is kind of like a graphic novel. I also have this little additional novella called Dragon's Oath. There are several more novellas that unfortunately I don't have yet, though I'll probably get them at some point or other. And of course I have The Host by Stephanie Meyer, which also resides on the shelf just because I like to keep my author's books together. Moving on to the next two shelves. This is very obviously my Harry Potter shelf. It has pretty much all Harry Potter stuff. Starting with my collector's limited edition of the Tales of VEDO the Bard, which was my guilty pleasure purchase that year, because it's not cheap. But I really like it. It's kind of big, even though the book inside comes in this little pouch. So there's this cute little pouch, and then you open it, and this is what you find inside. It's very similar to the original 7 books that she handmade herself, and it has a little clasp, which is very cool, and it has a bookmark, which currently is at the end because I have read it. It's a very cool edition, and I really like it. Next up, I have the Film Wizardry book, which is really awesome, and it has all kinds of cool things inside. I haven't entirely finished reading it yet, but I've started. I'm maybe about halfway through, I don't remember, but there's some pretty cool stuff in there. Next up, I have a pop-up book. I don't know if this is just for the series or for a specific book, but I thought it was really cool and I decided to get it. Yeah, see? Ooh, it's magical. Next up come the actual Harry Potter books, starting with The Prisoner of Azkaban in Bulgarian, The Goblet of Fire in Bulgarian, The Order of the Phoenix again in Bulgarian, and then Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone, Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets, which doesn't have a dust jacket, Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban again without a dust jacket, Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire, Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix, Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince, and last but not least, Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows. I also have these ultimate editions of the movies, Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone and Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets. And I also have another pop-up book from the Sorcerer's Stone that's... okay, oh, this does that. Professor McGonagall turns into a cat, or something or other. And I also have Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone in Bulgarian, and Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets, again in Bulgarian. And then I have this box set from the Library of Hogwarts that includes Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them, and also Quidditch Through the Ages. And then on this side I have more of the ultimate Harry Potter DVD collections or editions, as well as this trunk edition that has the first 5 movies in it. Moving down to this shelf, starting with The Raven Cycle by Maggie Stiefvater, the first one being The Raven Boys, and the second one being The Dream Thieves, which this is just the dust jacket because I'm currently reading it. So this shelf is basically organized by most of the books being the same size. But anyway, the next books in the shelf are The Morganville Vampires by Rachel Kane. And the first one is not here because I'm reading it. But the second one, Volume 2 consists of Book 3 and 4, which are Midnight Alley and Feast of Fools. Volume 3 includes Lord of Misrule and Carpe Corpus. I'm probably not saying that right. Volume 4 includes Fade Out and Kiss of Death. And then the next one is just on its own and it's called Ghost Town. Followed by The Bite Club, after which is Last Breath, Black Dawn, Bitter Blood, which I haven't read this one yet. Neither have I read the next one in the series, which is called Fall of Night. Now there's one more book coming out called Daylighters that will arrive in a couple days. Next up we have 2 books by Ray Carson, the Girl of Fire and Thorns series. I have the second one called The Crown of Embers and the third one called The Bitter Kingdom. This is a trilogy and this is the last book. And I really love the spine. It's very starry-like. The next one is A Darkness Strange and Lovely by Susan Dennard, and I believe this is the second book in a series. I do not have the first one. The next one is book 1 in the Bertie Mattel's trilogy by Jonathan Stroud, and this one is called The Amulet of Samarkand. Next up, we have Between the Devil and the Deep Blue Sea by April Genevieve Tichelki, and this is a book that I really enjoyed. I did make a review on it, and the video will be linked down below, as well as any other book reviews that I may have made for books that I talk about in this video. The next one is Goddess by Josephine Angelini, and this is from the Star-Crossed series. The next one is The Eternity Cure by Julie Kagawa. Kagawa? I'm not sure, but it's the second book in the series. The first one is Blood of Eden or something like that, and I haven't read it yet. The next one is Elegy by Tara Hudson, and this is the third book, I believe, in the Hereafter series. The next one is Anti-Goddess by Kendara Blake, and this is the first book in the Goddess Wars series. Next up we have Nevermore by James Patterson, and this is, I don't even know what number in the Maximum Rise series. Next up is Dance of the Red Dawn by Bethany Griffin, which is the sequel to Mask of the Red Death. I have not read it yet. Next up is War of Witches by Métis Carranza. I'm not sure I'm saying that right, but again, I haven't read it. Yeah, I probably won't be having any book hauls anytime soon again because I have a lot of books to read, including this one, Iron Skin by Tina Connolly. I started reading it a while ago, but then I kind of stopped and I need to finish it. And on top of these lovely books, we have the Percy Jackson series, or Percy Jackson and the Olympians by Rick Riordan, or Riordan? I'm not sure, everyone says it differently. But this series consists of The Lightning Thief, The Sea of Monsters, The Titan's Curse, The Battle of the Labyrinth, and last but not least, The Last Olympian. Next up there's Poison by Bridget Sin. This is a standalone novel, very fairy tale-like, and I really enjoyed it. It was very cute and adorable. Next up is the Blue is for Nightmares series by Lori Farias Stollards, and that includes Blue is for Nightmares, White is for Magic, Silver is for Secrets, and Red is for Remembrance. It's a series about witches. I read it a while ago, so I don't really remember much about it, but I do know that I enjoyed it when I read it. Next up we have The Chaos of Stars by Kirsten White, and then the last 3 books on this shelf are from the Steampunk Chronicles by Katie Cross, and there are more books coming out in this series. The Girl in the Steel Corset, The Girl in the Clockwork Collar, and The Girl with the Iron Touch. I really like this series. And here are the last 2 shelves on this case. Again, the bottom shelf is a combination of multiple books like school books and fitness books and dictionaries and self-help books and just all kinds of stuff like that. So I will actually not go through all of them individually. But on this shelf here, first up we have The Girl Who Could Fly by Victoria Forrester. Next up is B for Burglar by Sue Grafton. This is from the Alphabet series that I was intending on reading this year. It's probably not going to happen. Next up is The Enchantress of Florence by Salman. I have no idea how to say that name. How do you say that name? I don't know, but That's another book that I got in Cape Town over 3 years ago and still haven't read. Next up is The Little White Horse by Elizabeth Gouge. I don't know. How do you say this name? Now that I think about it, there's only 3 books on this whole entire shelf that I have read and none of the others. Next up is The Girl with the Glass Feet by Ali Shah. This is a book that I've read. It's kind of weird, but interesting nonetheless. The next 4 books are from the Lost Books series by Ted Dekker. And I have Book 1, Chosen, Book 2, Infidel, Book 3, Renegade, and Book 4, Chaos. I don't know if there's any other books in the series, but when I picked them up I thought that they look really cool, so I got them. I don't even know what they're about, but I'm excited to read them. Next up we have the Immortal trilogy. I think it's a trilogy by Gillian Shields. The first book is Immortal, the second one is Betrayal, and the third one is Eternal. Again, that's another series that I got all the books of and I still haven't read them. The next one is Bewitching Season by Marissa Doyle, and that's another historical novel that I'm very excited to read. It also has witches in it, which is really cool. Next up we have another witchy historical novel called Princess Ben by Catherine Gilbert Murdoch, and this is actually quite interesting and I really enjoyed reading it when I did like forever ago. Now the next 3 books are from the Look series by Anna Goberson: Envy, Rumors, and Splendor. Now the next 5 books are from the Sweep series by Kate Chernin: Book of Shadows, The Coven, Blood Witch, Dark Magic, and Awakening. Next up is Book 1 in the Castings trilogy by Pamela Freeman called Blood Ties. Next up we have Graceling by Christine Cashore. The next 2 books are from the Thirst series by Christopher Pike, and I have volume 1, which includes The Last Vampire, Black Blood, and Red Dice. And I also have volume 3, which includes Reckless Behavior and Endless Pursuit. I am in fact missing volume 2, and I believe there are more books after this one. The next books on the shelf are from the Buffy the Vampire Slayer, and they have different authors, like all the different stories. So I have volume 2, which includes Halloween Reign, Bad Bargain, and After Image, and volume 3, which includes Carnival of Souls, One Thing or Your Mother, and Blooded. And again on the top I have some more books, the first one being Carnival of Souls by Melissa Marr. The next one is another one by Melissa Marr called Ink Exchange, and this one is from the Wicked Lovely series, the second one I believe. Next up we have Shadow of the Mark by Lee Fallon. Next up we have School Spirits by Rachel Hawkins, which is part of the Hex Hole series. And last but not least I have 2 of the Sisters of Isis series by Lynn Ewing, and I have the third one, which is called Enchantress, and the fourth one, which is called The Haunting. So that's the end of this bookcase.